I have visited the Irish people on their farms, in their homes, in their townlands, at the crossroads, their villages and towns, and everywhere the message has been the same as it is here this evening. They tell us, carry on, Fianna Fáil, we are with you.
For once in my life, I have someone who needs me, someone I've needed so long. For once unafraid, I can go where life leads me. Somehow I know I'll be strong. For once I can touch what my heart used to dream of.
Scarcely a resounding victory. It's not an enormous vote of confidence. It's an as you were.
Having regard to the forecast made by the political commentators, I think it was a tremendous victory against great odds.
Yeah, in my life, I won't let sorrow hurt me, not like it's hurt me before.
The breathalyzer is only a screening device. It doesn't prove you've had too much to drink. It's just a guide to the Gardaí to say that perhaps they should investigate the matter further.
Once I can say, this is mine, you can't take it. As long as I know I have love, I can make it. For once in my life, I have someone who needs me.
I've been called to succeed Bishop Moynihan of Kerry, who has served the diocese in such a princely and committed fashion for so many years that I will find it very difficult indeed to be able in any way to measure up to the service which he gave to Kerry, to its priests and to its people.
I think they might think I'm going to hot up the revolution, you know. I want to cool it down.
You're against revolutionary violence too. I like your song.
I'm against violence, you know. Period.
For once I can say, this is mine, you can't take it. As long as I know I have love, I can make it. For once in my life, I have someone who needs me.
When did you decide to get married, Paul?
About a week ago.
What prompted it?
Just, you know, so we decided to do it instead of thinking about it.
Linda, how do you feel about it all? You're obviously terribly happy. How are you feeling this morning?
Terribly happy.
That sounds good enough.
October 18th. October 18, 005. September 6th. September 6th is 006.
After careful consideration with my senior civilian and military advisors and in full consultation with the government of Vietnam, I have decided to reduce the authorized troop ceiling in Vietnam to 484,000 by December 15th.
How many civilians did you actually see shot?
I believe to be about 100. General count, no Pacific count.
understand that there has been and continues to be opposition to the war in Vietnam on the campuses and also in the nation. As far as this kind of activity is concerned, we expect it. However, under no circumstances will I be affected whatever by it.
Ladies and gentlemen, to whom it concerns, it's The Late Late Show. And here is your host, Gay Byrne.
Thank you. Thank you and good evening. I mentioned to you last week on The Late Late Show that we were going to do something rather special this evening. And what we're going to do is very simply pay tribute to one of the most distinguished men of our time in the literary, artistic, and cultural life of our country.
Something is happening and it started happening when you walked by. Something is happening and it's changing everything. Do you know why? Soon as you started to kiss me.
Michael, to me, means, first of all, a perfectly wonderful and very loyal and sometimes very difficult friend, but a very wonderful one.
The same sort of thing to others too. Well, something is happening to me, and I only hope the same thing is happening to you.
Why are you now admitting to being 70 years of age?
I have never admitted to being anything else. I think I emerged from my mother's womb at the age of 70. I felt very old as a child, and I feel younger and younger as the years go by.
What begins? These loving notions. You do things to my emotions. I can't tell whatever is happening. There's nothing about it I can do. Something is happening to me, and I only hope the same thing is happening to you.
I'm a very lazy actor, and you won't permit any indolence, really. If you have anything or anything to offer, if you have any opinion or comment, he demands it. And more than that, he enhances it.
I came here because we wanted a wild place. And I like wild places. And I think this west coast of Ireland is one of the most beautiful wild places I've ever seen.
Something is happening to me, and I only hope the same thing is happening to you.
When this is all over, I think I shall take a long, deep breath. And if we finish at late summer, I'll probably go to the Caribbean. And if we finish in the winter, I'll probably go and ski somewhere. That'll be a cakewalk after this.
What begins? These loving notions. You do things to my emotions. I can't tell whatever is happening. There's nothing about it I can do.
The plain fact of the matter is, if we don't give it away, we have to knock it down brick by brick and just leave it as it was, as bare mountainside. And this seems an awful waste, since everybody who's been to see it says what a splendid reproduction it is, and it's built absolutely solidly, you know.
Spanish Television has great pleasure in greeting you from the Raw Theatre in Madrid. Well, welcome all viewers who are now looking in on the 14th Eurovision Song Contest.
The wages of love, the
way decisions are made in this university at the moment is such that a very small number of people of the staff, in fact only 20% of the whole staff, make the decisions which affect the rest of the university. That would mean about 100 people in all take decisions which affect 10,000.
We will decide now what this university is to do, where it is to go. This is a golden opportunity, one we must not throw away, but one we should utilise to its full extent. So therefore I say to you, when we support the notion of a seminar, we support the notion of an occupation, not an occupation of the administrative corridor, but an occupation of our own minds, an occupation of our own principles, a belief in our own principles and a belief in our implicit right to do as we wish and to do when we wish, what we wish.
The communist scare has been used far too often for people to take it any way seriously now. We have members who are members of the Irish Communist Organisation and the Connolly Youth, the Workers' Party and Sinn Féin. All of these are left-wing groups. And if they weren't left-wing groups, they probably wouldn't be interested in housing.
In Dublin City in 1913, the boss was rich and the poor were slaves. The women working and the children hungry, then on came larking like a mighty wave. The workman cringed when the boss man thundered, 70 hours was his weekly chore. He asked for little and less was granted, lest getting little he'd ask for more. But on came Larkin in 1913, a mighty man with a mighty tongue. The voice of labour, the voice of justice, and he was gifted and he was young. God sent Larkin in 1913, a labour man with a union tongue. He raised the worker and gave him courage. He was their hero, the worker's son.
This is Mbutukaya, a small village on the southern zone of the Biafran war front. Mbutukaya has changed hands several times in the past few months. It's part of Biafra now, but the Federal Army is only about 3 miles away down that road, and there was continuous firing, shelling and machine gun fire last night for 4 hours, so its future is very much in the balance. Here in the Catholic Mission, there are 1,560 registered refugees.
At 11 o'clock, this MiG fighter just swept over the hospital, ran 3 times and strafed, and it happened so quickly. It was all over before we realized just how much damage had been done.
We are serving the ordinary civilian population, the women and the children who are starving and who are depending on our food. We believe that these children have a right to live. They have committed no crime. They know nothing about ideas like economic blockade, secession, or independence. All they know is that they are very, very hungry and they need food and need it urgently. And we feel that we have a moral obligation to keep these people alive.
If you permit me, take this opportunity to thank the Irish people, particularly as this is intended for them, for their generosity, for their deep understanding and humanity.
Roughly 10 million in an area the size of Munster. And you couldn't possibly, as Caritas Internationalis have clearly said, we can't feed 10 million people. We can help you.
Well, this means certain famine.
All this means starvation, utter and complete starvation. Even Oxfam, even representatives from England have said within the past week that they estimate that 2 million people would die at the end of 2 months.
50 yards out from his own goal, shaking off Pat Keenan. Then putting Kerry into the attack with this long ball, and Liam Higgins has gone back for his goal. Mick Higgins has it down the 21-yard line. He tapped it back to Mick O'Dwyer. Mick O'Dwyer is high, and it's gone over the bar. And it's Mick crowded in the crowd. 50 yards out from the off the goal. Now 40, now 30. He's breaking into 21. He's taking a shot, and it's high, and it's good.
So keep it up, get my desire, and I'll be at your side.
Since the 1st of October, Concorde has been flying supersonically. Recently, she's reached the speed of Mach 1.3. Mach 1 is the speed of sound.
Forward, just into the right level. 9.5. 30 seconds forward, just. Okay. Contact light. Okay, engine stop. Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. Roger, Tranquility. We copy you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue. We're breathing again. Thanks a lot.
Okay, Neil, we can see you coming down the ladder now. Yeah, we can see you coming. I'm at the foot of the ladder. I'm going to step off the limb now. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Good evening. It is with deep sadness that you and I, Irishmen and women of goodwill, have learned of the tragic events which have been taking place in Derry and elsewhere in the north in recent days. Irishmen in every part of this island have made known their concern at these events. This concern is heightened by the realization that the spirit of reform and intercommunal cooperation has given way to the forces of sectarianism and prejudice.
People say I'm the life of the party 'cause I tell a joke or two. Although I might be laughing loud and hearty, deep inside I'm blue.
Well, it seems to me that no matter how the Unionist Party attempt to explain this resignation, the facts are that O'Neill has been brought down because he offered one man, one vote.
The closer it's easy to trace the tracks of my tears. I need you, need you. Since you left me, if you see me with another girl, seeming like I'm having fun. Although she may be cute, she's just a substitute because you're the permanent one. So take a
We are in here. The police, the B specials are right out, and the army are between the two of us. And that is the way we want it, and that is the way we will keep it.
all the tracks of my tears. Oh, I need you, need you. Hey, yeah. Outside, I'm masquerading inside my home.
I will try to ensure that there is justice and equality and lack of fear and absence of discrimination in this country in which you live.
You'll see my smile looks out. Yeah, just look closer. It's easy. All the tracks of my tears, baby, 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 take a good look at my face.
I don't know what's going to be the outcome, but Dublin and London must surely be watching with very anxious eyes at this moment. It's too early yet to say just what the outcome will be, but already the harm has been done. The 50-year-old dam that has been building up has been burst, and well, it's over to God after that.
Well, to a sunnier situation next on RT1, as Evie and Joe return for a new season of Seasonal Getaways. Brighten up the 2nd of January with an amazing Amalfi adventure. More on that coming up.
Since you put me down, my smile is my makeup I wear since my breakup with you.